The Warriors, they'll be facing what I like to call the Unk Slayer, the Star Slayer, Anthony Edwards. A lot of people are saying he's on a retirement tour. And the Timberwolves, after taking down the best basketball player in the world in LeBron James and the Lakers in 5 games. Shannon lied, LeBron fried, Luka cried, Lakers in 5 to Cancun. So in this game 5, Unk had to retrace his thoughts in terms of Shannon Sharp, and meant to say that the Lakers will be going to Cancun in 5 games, not winning the series in 5 games. So the Timberwolves, they beat the Lakers 103-96. Again, here's another unlikely hero because, he had everyone in the country shocked, including the inside the NBA crew as well. We're talking about Rudy Gobert. He was a saving grace for the Wolves. He had a 20-20 game at the right moment. The glass was not the Lakers' best friend by any stretch or means, as they were out-rebounded 54-37. And even on, the Wolves shot terribly behind in the three-point land. They shot 15%, which is 7 of 47. They shot 47 times, y'all, which is, so they're forcing it. And then Anthony Edwards himself, he was 0 for 11 from the 3-point range, and he acknowledged that post game, he didn't shoot well at all, but everyone around him definitely still, carried him on their backs. So, and for Rudy Gobert, he averaged 3.6 rebounds entering in the game in Game 5. So nobody really expected Rudy Gobert to be any type of factor going into Game 5. So Rudy Gobert, he had 27 and 24. Anthony Edwards had 15 points on 5 and 19 shooting. Again, he struggled shooting tonight, which or last night or the other night, whatever. You know what I mean. And, Mike Conley, he had 8 points. Julius Randle had 23 points himself. He played very well in this series. The bench had 22 points themselves. If we go to look at the Lakers real quick, their scoring, LeBron, he had 22 points. Luka had 28. Austin Reeves struggled. He only had 12 points. Hachimura, he had a really good game with 23. Dorian Finney-Smith only had 7 points. The bench themselves only had 4 points. The last 2 games, Gabe Vincent ran straight cardio the last 2 games. He put up 0 points the last 2 games. Big old 0. Poor Gabe Vincent. That bench over there in LA is just, oof, it's tough. It's tough to watch. And, just seeing one of the main things in this game, too, was watching J.J. Redick play Maxi Kleber, who hasn't played a game in God knows how long. Jackson Hayes did not play at all this game. I'm pretty sure he didn't play last game either, did he, Noah? Yeah, I'm not saying Jackson Hayes was going to be a difference maker, but still, I think having him on the floor, maybe having him against Rudy Gobert, maybe would have made things a little bit easier for the Lakers, but this small ball they were playing all series was not very smart. And then a lot of people are calling JJ very, stubborn, because prior to this game, like I said, I think I mentioned last week as well, with the Lakers, they were the first team in NBA history in the playoffs to play the same starting 5 in a half, which is you're not going to empty, which I guess it just kind of speaks to JJ in the sense of he probably just doesn't trust the bench, which, there isn't much substance on the bench. You got Dalton Connect, Jackson Hayes, Gabe Vincent, Jared Vandenberg as well. You have those guys on the bench, but I guess it just speaks that he just didn't have any trust in those guys over there. I think there was really just no sense of urgency in this game. There definitely was no type of interior presence for the Lakers, which was honestly, I think we all kind of expected this leading into the playoffs. This is one of their weaknesses as a team, was their interior presence, both offensively and defensively. But Rudy Gobert, no disrespect to Rudy, but still, he wasn't doing much this series, and then just seeing him just kind of flash in this Game 5, like I said, at the right moment, the Timberwolves needed him when they needed him best. So, and he joins some pretty hefty legends in terms of those numbers he put up. So what's next? Now, my next question for you guys is, what's next for the Lakers, y'all? What's next for LeBron? I want you guys to let me know down below too. Is this it for LeBron? Like after this series, is this it for him? Like, and if so, I truly believe he'll go down as the greatest basketball player ever, y'all. So there is no debate to it. You know what I'm saying? I think we all can agree that LeBron James will be mounted as probably the best player in basketball. Take away his postseason downfalls or whatever you want to do. Regular season, he's one of the best in the business. So in terms of the Lakers, I think they really just need to address their bench overall and definitely get a big man. Now, some guys I think, they could probably try to pluck this offseason. Someone try to get Miles Turner out of Indiana, I think. Get someone like Miles Turner out of Indiana. Maybe go get after Bol as well, because I know the Suns, they're blowing up their team. So in terms of the Lakers, like I said, they just need to address that bench. JJ probably needs to put more trust in his bench as well, and maybe not be as stubborn in this next season with the Lakers. So, but again, I think we all we didn't think this was. I mean, I rode the Luka hype and thought with getting Luka that this could be their year. I think a lot of people already kind of wrote them off, saying this is not their year. Next year will be their year because they'll have more chemistry together, and then they can address their issues in the offseason as well. Because I mean, they like I said, I think not getting Mark Williams as well in the trade deadline as well probably played a huge part. And if they probably would have got him, this series probably would have went a different way possibly for them. But let's take a look at this Wolves versus Warriors series. Now, my predictions here is, now look, y'all, we got Ant versus Steph. Look, and Anthony Edwards, I don't know what year it was. I know I think it was 2022, I believe it was. I think he even stated that the one person he wants to play in the playoffs and hopefully try to take down is Steph. Now, y'all, Ant in the Wolves, they've taken down some heavy hitters so far. So they took down KD last year. They took down Jokic as well. Took down LeBron this year, and now who knows? Maybe he'll take down, Steph and company. Like I said, I mean, like all the old heads, they're getting slain by Anthony Edwards, and he's battling out with Jason Tatum to probably be the face of the league this year. The face of the league once these guys all retire and all these guys leave. So again, we got Ant versus Steph. We got Rudy versus Draymond Green. I think the experience in the Warriors all around, it bleeds throughout that roster. And like I said, Ant has taken down the NBA Titans of the league. And now he has the opportunity to take down Steph as well. Now, after exposing the Lakers' weakness, the Wolves look to play bully ball again against another small team in the Warriors, who again took down probably the big bullies of the West and the Rockets, who ran with two bigs that entire series. And the Warriors still were able to come out on top against the novice Rockets, you would say, because they had no playoff experience. But again, the Timberwolves, they're no strangers to the playoffs. Like I said, I already mentioned what Ant has done in his short career so far with the Wolves against some powerhouse teams for sure. Now, this is a short turnaround for the Warriors. I think again, they have to play bully ball against this Warriors team. They have to probably succeed. They got to look over what the Rockets didn't do or what the Rockets did, and wipe that out of existence, and definitely try to play a different style of ball. I think the two guys that will be difference makers in the series are Rudy Gobert, of course, and then Naz Reid as well. Those two big men. I feel like Naz Reid, who is a shooter as well, if he gets it going, I could see something. I can see something here. And obviously, we know what Ant can do and what Julius Randle can do. But I think if those two guys, and Rudy and Naz Reid, contribute and play extremely well and consistent both on the offense and defensive side of the ball, I can see the Wolves taking this series in 6 or 7. So